You're listening to the Shoot Your Shot podcast with Lindsay and Tim.
Welcome back to the Shoot Your Shot podcast. My name is Tim.
No, it's not.
My name is Lindsay.
Yes, it is. My name is Tim. This is the community-driven podcast for photographers who are just like you getting back from WPPI last week at this time. We weren't there.
Nope.
We didn't come.
No, we didn't.
couldn't.
Unfortunately, we were just working away over
Yeah.
here. Tim was in Guatemala.
I was in Guatemala.
Y'all. Tim was building a house and hiking up a mountain.
Yeah. Taylor was in
What?
Japan.
Not a mountain. A
A volcano. Yeah.
Yeah, Taylor was in Japan and I was here doing laundry.
Holding down the fort.
I was here doing laundry and that's
Sure.
okay.
That's
you know?
okay. You know?
Someone has to be the reasonable person.
If you didn't make it out to WPPI this year, that's okay. You're amongst family here at Boston Pizza. We love you. And we'll probably see you next year. Maybe not.
Maybe not. We'll see. If we can put some request out, it would be to have WPPI not at the Rio. And also, if your president would stop being a lunatic. Moving on.
That'd be great. We start every episode of this podcast by rolling the magic 8 ball. It is our higher power. Today it kind of matches my mug. That's nice. If you're tuning in on YouTube, you can see our handsome, strong bodies move around to the sound of our voices, which is nice. So subscribe to us on there. Lindsay, you have a question for this
We've
thing?
been working out hard for the
Dude.
YouTube. Yeah, just for YouTube.
Dude.
You wouldn't believe. Tim and I are on that Apple podcast or Apple fitness train so bad
Coach
every day.
Kyle.
Sup, Coach Kyle.
What do you got for me, Lindsay? What's the question?
Okay, so what should my question be for the 8 ball? I have clients with a bunch of babies being born very soon.
Okay. Past wedding clients? Past
just
all kinds?
Yeah, one of them's a wedding planner.
Okay.
One of them is actually another person that just did have her baby. And that is one of our friends, Liam Good's sister. Congratulations, Liam. You're an uncle. I have a lot of babies being born that I have to do photos of in the next little bit. And I'm also going to be at the Fearless Photographer Conference in Florence in a weekish time. So naturally, when you rely on babies to come on time, they don't do that.
They don't do that.
And then I timed this around me leaving the country. So let's ask the magic 8 ball. Am I going to be at home when these babies need their photos done?
Unlikely.
Okay, well,
Yep. Sorry, babies.
problems to be solved for
You don't
me.
look great right out the womb anyway. I feel like you have to wait a couple weeks, right? Is that true?
Well, yeah. I mean, I think all babies are beautiful, Tim.
Sure they are.
To be fair, most of my clients are very chill, very like flexible. Yeah. I think true like newborn photography purists, the ones that are like, you know, babies in baskets, like in
there for
studio,
the crowning of the baby. Yeah.
Then they probably like to do it within the first 7 days.
Really?
I'm more of a 7 to 21 days kind of gal.
Okay.
Here's the timing that makes the most sense for me. This is not the topic of the conversation today, but why not? We're here.
I'm curious.
The first 7 days, moms and parents are just figuring this thing out.
Yeah.
Moms are healing a lot of the time.
There's a scar the size of a dinner plate inside their bodies.
Yeah, like your body has to move its organs into new places.
The ribs have to readjust.
There's
all
so
that.
much inflammation.
Yeah.
A lot of my newborn photos are like, it's a family lifestyle thing. And so parents are
bit more mobile.
heavily featured.
Yeah.
And I like for parents to just feel good in their pictures and not be stressed out of their minds. So the first 7 days, I'm like, take your time. Enjoy. You should, have a cup of tea and just chill a little bit.
When do you wash babies for the first? This is a maternity podcast. When do you wash? Like after 2 weeks, 3 weeks?
There's probably different like thoughts on this for like witchiness because like witchy people would say, and as a witch myself, like people would say, you got to keep that good stuff on them for a little bit. But I mean, no, I don't think you should wait 2 weeks. I think your baby would be nasty. But I think it's not like they're not dunking them in the bathtub.
No.
Listen, we're the wrong people to be asking this. We don't have
not
children.
a parenting podcast.
I always just tell people like wash your baby's head because their heads get like greasy and oily. And
the
that's
baby
like
acne is so cute though. Little baby acne. It's adorable.
It's not my favorite thing to edit. I'll be totally
it
honest
is.
with you there.
It's cute to look at.
It's a thank
adorable.
God for Evoto kind of situation.
Yeah. It's good smoothing.
But between 7 and 21 days is when babies are still sleepy.
Okay.
And I think sleeping babies are the cutest.
Potatoes. Yeah.
So, anyways, I hope the 8 ball's wrong. It's going to be totally fine. I'm only gone for 10 days. So
you'll be at Fearless in Ireland? Where is it?
Is in Florence, and then I am going to Ireland afterwards.
And he'll be hanging out with our friend of the show, Jason Vincent, who is the Fearless Family Photographer of the Year.
And can I just say, first of all,
go for it.
Huge congratulations to Jason. That's enormous.
Huge,
and
dude.
So well deserved. Secondly, Jason, thanks for going to bat for us in the comments on some of our most recent Instagram content.
Appreciate you.
We appreciate that, especially
so
as a big time Sony photographer.
Yeah.
To go to bat to the dum-dums in our comments that have been a little bit,
lot of bit.
Not a little bit, incredibly shitty.
Yeah.
Moving on to the topic
at hand. You click the link, you know what this episode's all about. Do photographers need a virtual assistant? And when do they hire one?
When do you hire one? So this was spurred from a conversation that you and I were having.
At the desk in the studio?
As most things on this podcast are, truthfully. I have a virtual assistant. Her name's Nika. What's up?
What's up, Nika? I do not, but I'm in the process of hiring one.
Yes. So Tim is in the process of shifting gears from, the version of him that does not have an assistant.
The 17 hats version of me to
literally
the 1 or 2, 3 hats at most.
Yeah. To becoming a leader and an owner of and it's interesting because we obviously just had Sam Hurd on who said that one of his least favorite things about his business is managing people.
Yeah.
He doesn't like to have a second photographer for that reason. No. Hiring sucks. It can be a crappy process.
Absolutely.
So today we're going to talk all about all things VA, hiring your first VA, where to hire from.
Absolutely.
This is not going to just be like an ad for one company, although you will see that there is a leader when it comes to where we think you probably will find your best VA.
We're going to talk about the pros and the cons. We're going to talk about, like Lindsay said, the tipping point when we feel like it is a good idea to actually jump in and hire one. The first person who we kind of talked to on this podcast about this was Josh Huggett, talking about the fact that he doesn't like to do anything he doesn't want to do. So he hired a VA.
Which is such a classic Josh thing.
Very much so. He's a unique individual.
He's a
boy. And he didn't want to do any of the heavy lifting side of his business that wasn't the fun part. And so he just hired a VA through the company that you're working with.
Wedding Workflows.
Yeah. And so that caused us to look deeply into that.
And the term Wedding Workflows, truthfully, now having onboarded with them, I've had Nika for a few months now. Yeah. We've done a lot of really cool things together over the last few months. I think the term Wedding Workflows, obviously just from a marketing standpoint, it made sense for them to narrow in on like, this is for wedding photographers.
For a niche. Yeah.
But if you're a photographer that doesn't do weddings and you are thinking of having a VA, I think that you can still find some really good success in working with them, even if you're just like a portrait photographer.
Yeah.
So
run a studio, anything like that.
Getting into sort of, and one of the things that I want to also touch on throughout this conversation, Tim, is the things that most of us, myself included, you for sure, have thought about what is like why we shouldn't have a VA, like the things that, I don't want to hand that off.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with like outsourcing or really anything in a solopreneur's business.
Yeah.
Of finally letting go of the reins and saying, maybe I'm actually not the best person for this job. Maybe there's somebody that's better for it.
Yeah.
So let's get into the first topic of conversation here. What is a virtual assistant for photographers? Like what kind of tasks?
Webster's Dictionary.
Yeah. What kind of tasks do we feel like a VA is good for?
Yeah.
So personally, I have an admin assistant.
Yeah.
When you hire a VA, typically, so I've hired from a company called Brentwork in the past. They were recommended to me by a friend. They, have VAs for all different types of business. It's not specific to photographers or creatives. It was literally any business that needs a VA. You can hire one through Brentwork. And
it's called Bruntwork?
Bruntwork.
BRUNT?
Yeah, like they do the grunt work, but the brunt work, I guess. I don't know. It's kind of a weird thing. I had a reasonably great experience with their team. We'll get more into that when we talk about my experience. But one of the good things that they do, and Wedding Workflows also does, is in the very early stages, they get you thinking, well, what do I want this VA for?
Why do I need
What kind of tasks am I looking to offload? So I've tested them all out.
Okay.
I have had an assistant that helped me make marketing stuff. I've had an assistant make reels and schedule content for me. I think that I thought that that's what I needed help on because I really wanted to like have like massive marketing impact. What I realized that I hate the most, and this goes back to sort of Josh's conversation around like, just hire things out that you aren't good at, you know? Yeah. I've outsourced my editing. Weirdly enough, I'm like, oh, I actually I enjoy that. And I don't think that that's weird. I think it's normal that we enjoy the finishing touches on our work. We enjoy the creative process of creating something.
It's the product you put out. So why shouldn't you be heavily involved in that? I think that makes sense.
So when I look at my business and I look at the things that I am not doing well at, the number one thing was always emails. And I've talked about it on this podcast like a million times about like, oh, I've got, you know, a heavy backlog right now or whatever. And generally my backlog isn't from editing. My backlog is from communication. Yeah. So, and it's such simple, stupid things.
Of course.
And like things that could have potentially won or lost me thousands of dollars that I just didn't respond to fast enough.
Just reaction time, right?
Yeah. And in the summer, because I don't just do weddings, I do family shoots too. It's not like I'm just shooting Friday, Saturday, and then I've got the week to manage the office stuff. I literally have to book Tuesdays off in my calendar to not book shoots so that I have one day of the week that I'm not leaving, because it's so challenging, as you know, to be pulled in 1,000 directions, but mentally pulled in 1,000 directions also. Dude. So, okay, today I'm going to shoot this, and then I have to edit this, and then I have a meeting with so-and-so, and then I'm going to brainstorm this. Oh, and then we're going to get ready for a podcast. And like, I have to do my full hair and makeup for that podcast. And then, okay, if I've done full hair and makeup for it, should I then also record that reel I've been talking about doing?
Because you did an everything shower.
And then, for me, the best time of day for me to be the most creative and the most like on, and I think for a lot of people, is early in the morning.
Yeah. AM with the sun.
There's only so many early morning hours for me to put towards something, and emails are just not my favorite thing to spend that time on.
No. Do you remember when you were younger and we just like starting these businesses out, and we just had like, I feel like infinite energy. This kind of thing.
Infinite. I would say I had infinite
like
energy,
in your early
but it was
20s.
so chaotic.
Yeah.
It was so, I think back on it now, and I just did.
And there was so much more to do.
I just did everything.
Yeah.
You know what I actually will say? Having Nika now, I feel that same level of energy now that I had then.
Interesting.
So I was feeling not a burnout, but just and I think I've maybe said this to you before, of like, I don't think I could start this business again. Like, I don't think I'd want to pick it up and move it to another country, because I don't think that I could do it again.
Yeah.
That's incorrect. I have found it again. Okay. I have that like spark, that exciting. I think of a thing that I want to do and I just go and execute it right away. I don't wait for the next day. I'm not planning it in. I'm like, no, we're going to do that, and we're going to do that right now.
Wow.
And I say we because it's a conversation I usually have to have with Nika of like, okay, hey, here's a process I've noticed is not working well for us.
Yeah.
What are we going to do about it? And the best thing is I can say, hey, I'm not enjoying that I'm constantly getting questions about this. What do we do together? So I create a new guide, you create a new email template. Next time this comes up, it's dealt with and managed, right?
Yep.
You know, I find like a hole in my marketing. Then I have her go and do some market research. Hey, where are other people doing better at this? What search terms might be good for this?
Right.
Then I execute on the creative, but I have all the information given to me by somebody else who's doing all of that. So just like a laundry list, I guess, of some VA tasks that I think could be helpful.
Hit it.
Inbox management.
Yep.
Client follow-ups.
Hell yeah.
Sending contracts and invoices. Timeline coordination. That's huge. It takes me a long time making timelines for people.
Yeah.
And I think I still enjoy doing that, being the one to create those. But having Nika be the one to say, hi, so-and-so, your wedding's coming up in 6 months. Should we start talking about this? Please fill in this questionnaire.
All that,
oh, you haven't filled in the questionnaire. That's not for Lindsay to figure out and follow up. That's for Nika to figure out and follow up. And then all I have to do is wait for it to actually come in with the details needed. And then I create the question.
And she handles all the follow-ups if they don't answer. Yeah.
So questionnaire reminders.
Yep.
Album design coordination. So like sending out I have like a Google form that people have to fill in to do all of this stuff. It's so funny because I just think of all of the places that I had backlogs and like workflow issues of, wow, why does it take me so long to get albums out to people? Okay, well, because I'm going back and forth 30 times in an email instead of just saying, here's a form, fill it out. What size do you want? How many pages are we looking at? What photos would you like? Do you want me to select the photos? Are you selecting the photos? What cover do you like? What, all those things. incredibly enough, doesn't need to be me. That does not need to be me. Blog posting. So it could be still you actually like making the creative and then maybe they schedule it. Pinterest pinning, social media scheduling. I would say those are all like admin tasks. And then if you wanted a VA that does do marketing, because maybe that is your least favorite thing, you can have somebody that helps you with creative that like takes your photos and you make like BTS videos at your shoots and then they make reels for you. When I was like a reel making machine, that's what I had. I had a VA and social templates. So she was using social templates and creating things. I'm like, that is the code completely cracked right there.
Question.
Please.
Wedding Workflows, they are a company designed to assist wedding photographers, portrait photographers, people in the photo space, typically events. Is there, maybe this is too much inside baseball, but do you think that they talk to each other and like they compare notes from because Nika's helping other people, right? She's not just helping you.
100%.
So she's able to give you insight into what other photographers are doing in the same space, maybe in the same market.
Yeah, and not in the same area as me for sure. I mean, I don't think so. That would be very funny, but
interesting.
I would imagine that, maybe it's a photographer in Calgary, they're helping.
Yeah.
I do know some of the photographers that they work with that they've told me, they've got, photographers in Australia. Like they have lots of clients, but I'm pretty sure they have a photographer in Australia. The biggest difference there is that when I was working with Bruntwork, my old assistant, she worked with like a dental agency.
So she was very much across the board,
office, right?
There's no specialization.
She was doing marketing, but she was doing marketing for all of us, where I think like it would be awesome if you're specializing in something for photographers.
Yes.
Where Wedding Workflows has trained them on what do couples that are getting married need? What do, photographers typically struggle with? They are training them in this like high level thing, and then you train them on your business specifically. So they're learning, and I think that can only seek to benefit us as photographers. Like, of course I want somebody that is working with other photographers that can learn from them and tell me. I don't always know I only know what I've come up with, what you've come up with, and our friends, but if there's somebody in Nebraska doing something sick, like, let me know.
And they're working on like maybe 10, 15 other photographers. They have an idea of what's in many real ways like trending within the photography world, so they can help you with that.
For sure. And the other thing, a lot of the time it actually comes down to what would the best practices be for this? Like, okay, we're trying to figure this out. I don't want a CRM. So that's one thing I don't enjoy. I don't want like we may get there. I might have to bite the bullet, but I don't want a CRM that's like, hey, send this email, whatever. I think that there is a way to do it using the systems I currently have, which are Google and Notion. So I did start using Notion when I signed up with Wedding Workflows. It's one of the things that they highly recommend. It's sort of like a team space. This is where all of your communications, your sort of tasks,
project management kind of thing.
Yes, exactly. They can all run through. So we store all of our resources that are on Google as well, but like the resources are there. So if she's looking up, how do I respond to this email? We can just look it up. There's a template for it there.
I miss the project management software. I used to work in tech, and we used Atlassian, which is like this company-wide, like a tech-wide standard for like project management, for like submitting tickets, from like coding, like everything. It was just everything rolled into one. It was so beautiful. Pretty sure
Atlassian and Notion are owned by the
same. Okay.
Either one's
Jira or a Jira, whatever it is.
Only because I got an email from Atlassian the other day.
Oh, okay.
And I have no idea why that
would be. It was so beautiful. They're so visually appealing, and you get little notifications. And it's so nice to like drag things from like idea to like working on to be complete. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And it's really nice for when you are collaborating on something with other people, whether that be like we're trying to work on a new, solve a new problem or whatever that might be, that I can say, hey, where are we at on this?
Yeah.
How are you doing on this? And I can see what she's actually working on, is very, very cool. I think that when it comes to like, what do I need a VA for, or how you get to the deciding factor, you're probably finding a pain point. It's like you're running behind on gallery delivery, and maybe it's not the most obvious thing. You're running behind on gallery delivery, but is it because you're burnt out of other stupid stuff?
Yeah,
maybe
likely.
It's not that you don't like editing. Maybe it's that
you don't like the culling, the backing up. Maybe it's the album creation. There's something in that workflow.
Your emails are sucking so much time from you that you're not able to then book a lot of clients. You're like, oh, I'm not booking anybody. Oh, well, because you're not doing well on the admin side of things.
Or the funnel side of things. Yeah.
I think only you as a photographer and as a human being will know like what your preferences are and what you actually like and what you're really good at. Mm-hmm. The one thing I'll say is like hiring a person to help manage your email doesn't mean that they come up with your voice and that they speak on your behalf in a way that's not you.
Tell me more. Because you had a pretty lengthy onboarding process. It's not like
huge.
Day one, turn a key. It's like, cool.
Which is why I think it's Lindsay's so important we're talking about this right now in March, right? And you are talking about it in March as well, because for me and most of us in North America, our busiest season is coming up, but it's not here yet. It's not here yet.
2 months from now.
So if you struggled with something last year, you know, maybe it's that you need to start using Imagine or whatever to edit your images, but maybe you also need to look at, should I have some assistance? Yeah. So there is a lengthy onboarding process. And I think one of the biggest things that people screw up when they hire a VA is thinking, and I did this with Brentwork for a little bit before I was like, oh, I need to put a little more time into this one. You can't just hire somebody and expect them to hit the ground
running.
No. Like imagine going and working at a place. Actually, I had this happen. Like I went and worked at, you know, part-time jobs and they don't train you properly. And then they have expectations. You're like, I've literally never been taught how to do that.
Full-time jobs don't pay you properly, but they also don't train you properly. My partner Kelly works in a position, I won't say where, but there's aspects of her job that are still way over her head because it's antiquated information based on previous positions that probably no longer exist of a workflow that was pre-digital. That's just like, well, why are we doing it this way? It's so inefficient. And it takes so long for a big organization like she works at to change.
Yeah.
They're juggernauts that move slow,
yeah,
but keep moving. So it's really hard to onboard someone for
the
that
lack
as well.
of training. I just try to put myself in the shoes of a person that would be coming on and onboarding. And sure, like they can Google you, they can look at your back end and get logged in and all of this stuff, but like they can look at your back end.
Like a proctologist.
You should.
Did you, when you were onboarding, did you notice things right away that were broken?
Oh, 1,000%.
I imagine taking that, like
it's
being able
actually
to,
so incredible.
It's hard enough to explain like people's positions at what they work at a job, but like having to take the last 10 to 15 years of your business being like, so this is it. And these are immediate holes in the Swiss cheese that we're all seeing together.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep. So one of the best things about working with wedding workflow specifically over Brentwork or even me just hiring my own
other VAs
in-person assistant or whatever
Yeah.
is that they're used to teaching people how to hire. So they actually create their own onboarding workflow for you to teach yourself how to onboard. It's like an onboarding meta situation.
That's perfect.
So they walk you through step by step. Hey, if you're going to hire a VA, here's some things you're going to run into. You're going to be worried about how do they log in.
Yep.
You've got a real hat situation going on.
Kelly made this hat for me.
It's very cute.
And the line, she's very upset about the line, so I have to make sure the line's never.
It was very visible there.
Sorry, continue.
You have to figure out how to send your logins to people without them having full access to logging into things.
Right.
Like, obviously, everybody's own personal comfort is going to be different on that. Like
you can't give the master keys to the kingdom to someone you just met online. That's just good practice.
There's a trust thing, right? Yeah. There's a trust thing and also like a healthy level of distrust in just sending a thing to a person on the other side of the world. There's a whole huge onboarding process. One of the things that I did that I really enjoyed doing was in my very first meeting with Nika, I did a presentation of, hi, I'm Lindsay. Here's
like a PowerPoint?
Yeah,
nice.
Literally. I went into Canva and I made a PowerPoint presentation, and it was what I wish that a boss would have done for me when I started a new job, but they never have time to do, right?
No.
They don't take the time. You have to figure this out as you go. So I was like, hello, my name is Lindsay.
This is what I believe in.
Here's where I live.
Yeah.
Here's some stuff about my personal life. Here are some aspects of my business that you should know about. I'm a wedding photographer, but I also do families and I also do commercial. I gave her the links to the websites. Go and read this.
Yeah.
These are sort of my overall vision and goals for my business. Here's where I've come from. Here's where I'm hoping to go to.
Here's my ethos.
Yeah.
As Josh would say. Yeah.
I would really love for you to understand this whole vision with me.
Right.
And hopefully that those early conversations help shape how you treat this business moving forward, because this thing's very precious to me.
Yeah.
And if I treat it like it's trash on day one in this conversation with her, she's not going to take it very seriously either. No. So
that was a good stepping point. That's smart.
So I created my own little like, hey, nice to meet you. Here's my thing. I asked her some stuff about herself, and she did a nice little presentation telling me about her. And then we sort of just got into like the basics of, here's what I'm hoping you can do for me.
Yeah.
What do you think? Here's where I'm at with things. One of the biggest things that I realized that I needed to do is I needed better email templates and better guides.
Right.
So, the things that I'm constantly sending out myself, we then created ones that were written by Nika, so use ChatGPT to get you a starting base and then make your own from there, Gemini, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So a lot of it was because what I'm hoping for her to do is email communications. We just started out with that. I use like Loom, which is a big thing that they teach also.
What's Loom?
It's screen recording.
Okay.
So it's a little video screen recording. So I would, show her, here's how I log into Focal.
Right.
Once I've logged into Focal, here's how you create a booking for a family shoot.
Okay.
And here's how I lay out the invoice. And here are little things that I know that I do.
Do you do that for every task? Every kind of like...
Literally every task, every single task that you want them to do, you create a video for. And I just do it as I go. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to create a booking right now. And instead of me just doing it, I would make a video of it. And in the process of them finding and hiring a person for you, you'll have a couple of weeks or whatever. That's when you can start doing those things.
Okay.
So you can start creating your own looms and do that in that process, so that by the time they come on, you're like, here's some stuff for you to read.
18 things you can look over and then they get started right away.
SOPs, standard operating procedures.
Yes.
The thing that was also lacking in my previous experience was, so I have hired people in person.
I was going to ask about that. We should probably dial it back. What are the cons and pros of hiring a human being in person? Because you've had 2.
3.
3.
If not 4, are we counting like co-ops and stuff? Yeah, I've had many a gal work for me. Never a boy. Sexist. Call HR. Call HR.
Yep.
I'm an equal opportunity employer. If you are
Except when it comes
cool,
to men.
if you're cool.
Yeah, if you're cool.
I have hired you. I've hired
Have you?
Chris, not to be my assistant.
Oh, I was going to say, I don't think I've worked for you.
Okay. You don't think I've ever hired you?
For an assistant position, no.
Right. I mean, I've hired.
No, yeah, for shooting. Yeah, no.
I pay people
I don't
that aren't
use
just
Sony,
women.
so yeah, I can work for you. It's fine.
Yeah, you're allowed. I've hired a few in-person assistants.
You have.
And I've had co-ops and stuff. A co-op experience is a little bit different. You're training, and it's really a lot more beneficial for them, I think, than for you at times.
Oh, yeah.
But I have had in-person assistants that have worked in the studio, or they've worked at home and in the studio, or they've worked at home and then also with me. Some pros and cons there. It's nice to be able to have someone on your time zone. Generally speaking, a VA is someone in the Philippines. That's just like a very common place for VAs.
Yeah.
That's where Nika lives. So, not on the same time zone as you, but somebody in the same place and time zone.
Yeah.
They can help you with organize this studio. I need this done.
I think someone in person is really helpful, just to even hold a camera.
Little
or
hustle tasks.
You need someone who's like proficient photographer to help you with an assignment that day, or
shoot
hold a
BTS
bag.
for you.
Sounds great.
Right. It again goes
Plenty
back
of
to
pros.
what type of tasks are you looking for? Because if you're looking for somebody to manage your inbox, they can be anywhere in the world.
Literally anywhere.
And it is good if you have a studio-based business to have a person that is able
someone
to
manning the desk, manning the phone.
Yeah, and maybe they can still
coffee.
do admin, but they're also in the studio.
Bingo.
Definitely higher costs. The cost of living here is obviously so much higher. And interestingly enough, I have had better experience with people working much harder for me remotely than they do in person. And it's not to say I haven't had hard workers. The people that have worked for me in person have all worked very hard. But the North American work culture is slightly different.
Yeah.
And scheduling and logistics, like, okay, are you working this time or this time? And okay, this day I'm going to need you in the studio. That's a lot for me to manage. And I don't really want to be a manager in that capacity.
It's also interesting. I feel like people who you would hire typically in person are, and this is maybe just my experience or my observation, seeing what I've seen, they are typically people who want to do what you are doing.
Literally,
currently.
yes.
And so they will work to a point where they feel like they want to get something out of almost every experience. Mm-hmm. And I'm overgeneralizing, But when you go with someone like Nika from Wedding Workflow, they're working with 15, 20 maybe other photographers.
They're not looking to become a photographer.
They're not looking for their job is to do admin tasks or the brackets of which you've given them. And the fact that they have no maybe they don't, maybe they do, maybe they don't, but they have no ambitions to take over what you are.
Nika's background is in accounting.
They don't want their their what is that thing that asshole photographer said once?
Tell me, I can't wait.
The rivals to become their enemies, or what did he say?
Yeah. So at one point, this guy that I tried to help out,
we'll name names eventually.
Regrettably.
It's coming.
Yeah, once the lawsuit comes out, which there will be one, not from us, somebody else will do it.
From sad couples.
Anyways, this guy was starting out as a photographer and he needed some assistance and I foolishly helped him. Anyways, then he posted, "Work so hard until your idols become your rivals," which I'm pretty sure is a Drake quote, but anyways, you're a douchebag. And
but that's the mentality of a lot of people.
That is, and I understand it. Because
totally
how do you get experience without working for somebody?
Bingo.
Most people don't want to hire a photographer with zero experience, especially not in the wedding space.
Bingo.
And it was like mutually beneficial for me a lot of the time.
Absolutely.
Like they would be working for me. They would give me something and I would teach them something.
Totally.
You know, I was also teaching them and then paying them eventually. Usually for most of these people are getting paid. All of them got paid except for a high school co-op. That's just,
That was fun. I remember that.
Yeah. Well, actually, no, she did get paid also in the end. I digress.
We talked a lot.
I think that the biggest takeaway there, Tim, truly is if you don't want to train your next competitor, hire an admin VA. Do not hire an in-person photographer who wants your job.
Or hire
because
someone
you're
who's
literally just teaching people the workflow, the aesthetic, the skill set, the finances, every single detail of your business. You're teaching them, and you're teaching them how to do it for cheaper.
If you're hiring a young person who wants to do what you do, if you're hiring someone who's retired, that's probably the best move. You probably should hire some retired people.
I know, but then what? Like, if you wanted
They're
somebody
wanted marketing, they would be out of touch with all that information. Yeah,
you want to, and it's not to say that like a 6-year-old person is not in touch, but like they, are not going to have the same level of. So
go get them attitude.
A virtual assistant obviously has more flexible hours.
Totally.
They have very specific tasks, and that's set out by you and them, right? You're not going to start scope creeping on a person that they're like, I wasn't hired to do that. I also live in the Philippines, so I can't do that.
Can't do it.
They're often much more specialized.
Yeah.
The cons, but also not necessarily cons, would be like you do have to really train very well up front because they're going to be working alone a lot of the time.
Yeah.
They can't ask you questions in real time. It's not like sitting across from the desk from somebody and they say, "Hey, how do I do this again?"
Yeah.
They're going to have to go back and look at their SOP, standard
videos,
operating procedures, and your
Yeah.
workflows and say, "How do I do this?" I think a lot of the time people think that hiring an assistant of some kind means hiring a salaried employee that is a full-time employee that works for you.
Right.
I have started out with 10 hours a week with Nika. My reasoning for that is I hired her in October, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Yeah,
so I was about to go into a period of time where I wasn't that busy.
Yeah.
And I can do more of these tasks.
Could you turn it off, turn it on? Is it like a
So you can to an extent.
Okay.
I mean, obviously they're still a human being. She might have another job that's taking up more of her time. So if she has another client that's doing 30 hours and I'm already doing 10.
Yeah.
There's no room in her schedule for her to do
clearly
20 or something.
Yeah.
So far the 10 has been working for everything that we've needed.
Great.
And that would be sort of my suggestion is unless you're absolutely slammed or you're replacing a person, like you've had a studio assistant and they've moved on or you're whatever trying to get rid of them, then, I think it's okay to start small, start at that like 10-hour a week mark. And then add on if you're finding they're overwhelmed with tasks or whatever. One of the other things that I will say about like hiring a VA is, you could obviously just get somebody that does your post-production. You don't even have to do the admin stuff. You can handle the admin stuff if you truly want to. But I think personally, for me, hiring an admin VA, and I think that this is probably your best first hire if you're going to be hiring one person, is most of our issues stem from poor organizational structure.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize how you know me. I love a system. I love a worksheet and a system.
Yeah, you love a spreadsheet. You love.
But I haven't had to be that organized because it's only my brain that I ever have to deal with this, and like my clients, right? But like they don't see the workflow that goes in behind the scenes in order to keep the business organized. But in hiring someone, you do start to realize where some holes are in your systems. And okay, if you know, they go onto your website because they're trying to do a task and the website's not working, you're like, oh yeah, we have been meaning to deal with that.
You need to talk to the web designer about that. Who's that? Oh, it's me.
Let me figure that out.
Let me talk to me.
Yeah. So I would say, you know, admin tasks, they're some of the most repetitive tasks.
Yeah.
They're also very time consuming. And they're also, when you are in the weeds, the first thing that gets dropped.
Absolutely.
Personally.
And they're also the thing that pulls you out of the whole reason you started this job as a creative human being.
You want to take
wanting
pictures?
to make pretty things.
Yeah.
Spreadsheets are not, I mean, they can be pretty when they're organized well and the math does the auto calculation for you at the side
Bingo.
and the right.
It's not for
but
me.
But it's not why you got into this job.
No.
If you wanted to be a CPA, you could have done that and made 0 images or made images on the weekend. So this really pulls you from the things that you need to do into the things that you want to do to grow your business in a way that attracts the right kind of people.
Yeah. So Tim, I want to talk about you hiring somebody, please. If we could like mosey on over to Tim hiring an assistant.
I would love that. We're going to take a quick commercial break. It is time for you to stop doing the boring admin tasks, the part of your business that you do not enjoy, that takes you away from creating beautiful images for your clients.
From culling and editing and creating and sending emails and contracts and invoices and managing your CRM, organizing all these spreadsheets and doing all of these crazy things that we do as photographers, we have a solution for you.
Weddingworkflows.com.
Weddingworkflows.com. They are the leading virtual assistant agency for wedding professionals. Use the promo code Lindsay Coulter for your first week for free.
They're here to support you in a way that makes sense. Again, use that promo code. What is it, Lindsay?
Lindsay Coulter, LINDSAYCOULTER.
Back to the show. So why do I want to hire a VA? That's your question.
Yeah, I want to know what's sucking so bad that you think you should not be doing it anymore.
Like you, a lot of my admin, my emails, my communication, there's a lot of solutions out there for it. I do believe that because I do so many things, I have a associate business technically with the chapel, DTK Chapel, where once a week, twice a week, I'll get an email from someone saying, are you available for this date? And I'll have to go through my calendar and see, I am available for this date. And then I'll email them back and they'll say, cool, you know, when the couple books. And so basically couples who get married at City Hall in Kitchener, through the DTK Chapel down to Kitchener Chapel, they can check a box or they can reach out to any of the admin there and get a photographer, which is me. If I'm not available, I have to go out and find someone else from the pool of friends who I know. I don't take a cut from this. I probably should, but the costs are so low. I'm just like, it's fine. Yeah. It's nice to be top of the call list for a thing that I don't have to do any heavy lifting for to just get work midweek. So often I'll be reaching out to Montana, to Chris Tellez, to Liam Good.
Who wants a job?
Who wants to work this date if I'm not available? If it's for a Saturday, I'm already booked. I have to find someone. So I'm always kind of defaulting to yes to their virtual assistant at the chapel.
So funny.
Because they're smart enough to hire that. So that's one aspect of my week that I could probably get 2-3 hours back of every week, just going through and double checking.
And then the follow-ups, right?
Follow-ups.
The like, hey, so did they book? And I
luckily the VAs that they work with and the people who work in there, Elspeth and Jess. Elspeth is their in-person at the desk DTK Chapel employee that Jeff has hired. She's wonderful. She's also an officiant, so she can do both. She's like a many hats. Really cool. And then Jess, who is a VA, I'm assuming in the Philippines, I think.
Probably, yeah.
I think Brentwork or somewhere else. They went through someone else
Brentwork,
for that. But, she's fantastic. She's on the ball with communication. She's always texting Jeff. We were just in Guatemala, and we were going back and forth on 2 couples who want the same date for back-to-back weddings, but each package includes up to 2 hours of photography. So we're like, can you move the date? It was a lot of juggling. It was very interesting, but it's something
funny,
that I don't want to deal with.
Little things.
And something Jeff doesn't want to deal with. He's like, why am I getting pulled into this? I'm like, just give it to Jess. And she took care of it and it was great. So that's one aspect of my of my week. Second aspect is I do full photography. I do full video for weddings. Getting that communication right every time, because people want both, as you know. Yeah. People want to hire a photographer and then the same person they want video from. Thank you, Taylor Jackson. Thank you so much. It's good.
You agreed to it.
I did agree to it. I did it for a number of years and I didn't enjoy it as much. So it's the fact that I produce comprehensive video, including audio, Super 8 film, all these things that don't allow me to do both really well. And so I made the conscious decision a few years ago to divide that into photo or video. So having two separate businesses, it seems sometimes, that run from one website is also hard to manage and create clear communication around, oh, we want to hire you for both. Like, cool. I feel like I'm doing the same email every time someone inquires for both. Like, we want you for photo and video. I'm like, cool.
I think you have a bigger issue.
Here's why this isn't working. Yeah.
You need to,
So that's something I've been working on over the years, and it comes up maybe once, twice a month where someone wants to hire me for both. And I'm like, cool. Here's why it's not a good idea.
Yeah.
I need help with that. Yeah. Absolutely need help with that. And maybe someone to look at my website and define it better. Or maybe I need two websites. These are the things.
And maybe more collaborative, right?
Yes.
And it's interesting because even though like an admin VA isn't the one to make those decisions, you'll start having these conversations more presently with yourself and with me and with whatever. But you're going to start having these as you go through I need to train this person. Well, what am I going to tell them that Tim does?
Yeah.
How am I going to tell them that we work? And then you're going to say, well, this website's screwed up. So what do I do here?
Yeah.
Should it? And truthfully, I think it should just be two different websites.
I've toyed with this, but the SEO on that is shitty to go to one landing page and then say photo or video. And then the SEO on that website of a landing page taking you to a forked location is less bueno than having one website.
Well, you don't think you should have Timothy Muse of film, Timothy Muse of photo?
But I'm a preferred vendor under one name. That's the only other issue. Oh. All these venues see me as one thing.
Factual.
That's the issue I've come up against.
I don't know that your SEO would be that rocked
you don't
by
think?
having. No, I do not. I do not agree with that. I think that your SEO is worse when somebody comes to you looking for photo and video and they immediately bounce off when they see that you don't do that.
Here's the thing, though. I have better conversion rate. I've done this. Better conversion rate when someone comes to me for both, and I say, "Oh, I just do one or the other. Would you want to work with Lindsay? She's fantastic." And then we booked several couples that way.
That's
so
true.
it's a wider net to say I do both to capture more people and get them in the net, get them a little bit down the funnel to say, "Hey, here's where
I'm not touching it." Yeah,
I can do one or the other. I love that you're here. Let's chat about which one makes more sense for you from my perspective.
Prefer.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
so it is a sticky thing, and that's kind of a nuanced area I would want help with the admin.
Yeah.
I also want help with my calendar management because it's a fucking nightmare.
Yeah.
Like
especially
I said,
with all the DTK stuff.
Every time I have to go into my two calendars and make sure that they're working well from personal, and then also because they're not connected. I have my one Gmail and then my hello @ So this is what I mean.
So we're going to solve that today, Tim. I'm going to solve that for you in 4 seconds.
Great.
We should get the laptops out right now.
We should. They're not
Isn't it incredible the dumb things that we struggle with on the daily that could be solved in 35 seconds?
Yeah.
So that's the other thing about having a VA is that you'll solve those problems
immediately
because you literally have to.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna be like, this is dumb. Is there not a better way to do this?
Yeah.
And if you don't have a Lindsay that's like, I'll do this for you, the VA can be like, yeah, I know exactly how to do that.
And these are problems I've experienced for years. I just keep kicking that can further down the road.
I'm taking this from you.
The pen away. I keep kicking that can
if
further down the road.
Everybody's had their ears assaulted by Tim
just
clicking the phone over and over again.
Pen. So I these are the problems you keep kicking down the road because you're like, well, it's not completely broken. It's not literally on fire. There's other things that are pressing matters that need to be taken care of.
And I'm the only one suffering by it.
So it's fine. That's the issue at hand. Also, my Calendly has like 3 different. Oh, there's also a commercial side of my business, so I do that as well.
I was gonna say, and you have multiple podcasts. Like the thing is, when you start speaking about your business like the owner of it instead of like the
solo employee that's being ground into the fucking earth.
Yeah. If you start speaking about it like the leader of it, whether you're think of yourself like the I don't know, CEO if you feel like calling it that, but when you start thinking of yourself as this person, I think it'll be very healing for you to make a presentation about what does Tim do?
Fuck me.
Because I think you are going to be shook because the amount of stuff that I've had Nika do, even for this podcast, doing outreach for our guests. You may have noticed we've had an influx of guests.
That's great guests. We love you.
Because I didn't have the capacity to be doing the reach out, the back and forth, the scheduling.
Yeah.
She set up a new Calendly just for us for the podcast. Like it's all little things. And sure, could you do it in less than 20 minutes? Sure.
Would you
but
hate
we
yourself?
Haven't.
That 20 minutes is already bought and sold. It's for something else.
It's
right?
already gone. And honestly, I work probably 60 hours a week right now at a minimum. Yeah. And I'm not shooting anything.
No.
So and that's with Nika working 10 hours a week, right? Yeah. So, I think that to help you out, I think it will be really good for you to make what does Tim do?
This is the year
and start thinking about it through the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Because as you go to do a task, be like, I do that often.
Yeah.
And then you add that to your, what do I do?
Can she handle editing, like basic, like import,
I
call?
wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. But here's the reason why I would hire 2 separate people. Again, you don't want to scope creep. Keep your admin person as very skilled at that thing.
True.
And then you have the capacity. I've been delivering stuff in literally 2 days this past couple of months. I mean, also it's been a slower time, but within literally 2 days.
Yeah.
Because I am not managing all of these other things,
you know? No, I have plans to, and we're on track, which is great, to book at least 50 TTK Chapel weddings this year.
So you can hire another admin for 10 hours a week from Wedding Workflows. Onboard that one can onboard your next one with you. Meta.
Multiplicity.
Right?
Yeah.
So then you've hired this person that can help onboard your next person.
Yeah, I would love to just have that part of the business just run like clockwork. I just have to show up, photograph, upload those photos to a gallery or to like a Dropbox, and then they just, because I'm literally just running it through Imagine.
So personally, I would hire an admin, get them onboarded, and then I would have your second person be your creative person. And so they could also help you with marketing. They can also help you with, actual creation.
Yeah.
But they're 2 different skill sets.
Agreed.
Nika went to school for accounting.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to make this girl do reels.
No.
That's not her business.
Not her business.
But I would hire some, photography interested person or video related person or something like that.
Yeah.
In the Philippines, one thing I feel like I started this thought and I didn't finish it
What do you
is
got?
the phenomenal thing about creating an SOP
0.8. Keep going.
is the phenomenal thing about hiring someone and actually creating these Loom videos and SOPs is what happens when they decide to move on. Because a lot of the time you are hiring a VA that probably has aspirations of doing something else. They don't want to work 10 hours a week for 4 different people. No. They may have aspirations of doing other things, and like, hell yeah, brother, go for it.
There's turnover everywhere.
I hope, obviously, that Nika likes her job and feels fulfilled and wants to continue on with this. However, if after a year she says, I want out of here, which
maybe she goes on mat leave. Maybe she just,
this is exactly what happened with
Bruntwork?
my Bruntwork assistant, is that I trained her and then she disappeared, in fact, actually.
She's safe? Is she okay?
Yeah, she's alive. She circled back looking for a job again. And I was like, you remember you ghosted your job? That was a weird thing. You're just like, so this is the other thing. They like, when they're not working in person, I mean, even in working in person, somebody could just ghost their job. Like people can just stop showing up for work.
Totally.
So I had to like contact Bruntwork and be like, hey, so this girl, she just stopped working. That was a weird.
She okay?
That was a weird thing. She just never logged into Slack again. That was weird. The dip though for me was like, oh my God, I do not have the capacity now to retrain someone.
Yeah.
And to start from scratch again.
And the beautiful thing about Wedding Workflows, not to be a complete ad that this is and is not, is the fact that they are all centralized under one umbrella of this company. All the VAs work for Wedding Workflows that are in there. So they understand the mentality, the idea of what it's like to work in this space, and they probably all share a Slack, like you said. They all share files. They all have access to the same Dropbox where all these videos live.
And actually, I have a so I use Google Chat to communicate with Nika.
Okay.
In our Google Chat, her boss from Wedding Workflows is in it.
Dipping. He's dipping in.
Is in it. So like, I don't know how often it's a woman, in fact.
Oh, nice. Sorry, pardon me. That was sexist.
Very rude.
I take that back.
But they are paying attention, I assume, to some things. But the other thing is they have access to that whole chat. So then they can go back and say, okay, where did this fall apart?
Right.
If there was a problem, like imagine I'm just a horrible employer. I'm super mean.
Yeah.
They could be like, hey, Lindsay, so Nika's not having fun and we can see why you're terrible.
Cut.
But I do think that there's something to be said for when you are hiring, act like you're not just hiring this person, act like you're hiring every single person that you are. Create your own workflow here so that the next time this comes up, because it will, that you already have SOPs created, you already have this whole structure and plan in place.
Wow.
And that's just kind of sick. So I would say that would be like one of the more common issues that people will run into. And I've learned it the hard way. So please don't be me when you're hiring. Make actual documents and teachings. And this is the 101 for how you're going to get onboarded into this company. I would say, having systems in place for like what are their daily tasks? What are the things that you want them to be doing? Check the inbox. respond to all inquiries, make sure that contracts and invoices that are outstanding are being taken care of, any follow-ups, whatever. That's my sort of main thing. And then we've got ongoing projects, and that's what gets done in the 2 hours a day essentially is what Nika's working, right?
It's wild.
So it's not a lot, but at 2 focused hours, we're getting a lot done. I gotta say, this girl she's working.
She's cooking. What's she doing right now?
She's sleeping.
Okay.
It's 1 o'clock in the morning.
What will she do today? Can we
today? So we're working on building Notion out. Because we started out not using Notion because I was rejecting of it, and she was like, "Okay, that's fair." But we realized that because I refused to use a CRM, I don't know why I'm so. Anyways, I felt like a CRM would just be. I'm so annoyed at how many subscriptions that I have. I'm also currently working through a bunch of bookkeeping, and I'm looking at this I spend thousands of dollars a year on things that I don't use. That literally thousands of dollars. So again, getting somebody else to do that stuff allowed me to take a closer look at the CEO tasks.
Yes, ma'am.
Where's our money going? Hello, us.
Why are we spending $1,000 on whistles? That kind of thing.
Whistles.
Why
exactly.
do we need whistles?
So I think so. I did reject the concept of using Notion, but it is such a good project management tool the further we get into things. And again, given the time of year, I just want us to hit the ground running in May so that I can do exactly what I want to do, which is I want to shoot and I want to edit and I want to be present with my clients.
Hell yeah.
And I want to be able to be creative.
Be the Lindsay that they hired.
And do marketing and that kind of stuff so that when I get somebody saying, hey, we want to book you, I can be like, hey, Nika, here it is.
Let it rip.
And she knows exactly how to do it.
Yes.
So currently we are building up the databases for Notion. And we're going to have a check-in call next week to have her present it to me, which I'm very excited about because I was like, okay, I don't know how this all works. What's gone on here? And I've been in it. I've been working on it with her every day. So
for sure.
She'll make something and I'm like, okay, let's, I'm going to work on the content calendar because that's marketing. That's me. That's my job. But then can you make sure that the actual spreadsheet of it functions properly?
Makes sense for the calendar of things going out.
Yeah. Let's maybe talk about the costs real quick before we have to dip out. So generally speaking, a VA is going to cost you anywhere from, this is USD, I think that's just easier
standard
for everybody.
Yeah.
Anywhere from $10 to $20 an hour USD. Brentwork did have VAs as low as $7 an hour.
Wow.
A few years ago, I never paid anybody $7 an hour. That's wild. But the cost of living is lower in the Philippines. Do your own research on what you feel is right and what feels ethical and normal for you. You can still give people raises once they have, shown that they're doing a great job. You can send bonuses, all those kinds of things. But 10 to 20 an hour is sort of the going rate for someone overseas. And I say overseas, it's usually the Philippines. You can pay upwards of 25 to 45 an hour if you're getting somebody specialized that's going to be working for you maybe full time and they're training specifically on your style, your editing.
Right.
If they're doing everything, if they're doing an admin and editing and posting and they're essentially another you're going to be looking at a higher amount.
Absolutely.
But I think I pay $450 US a month. So 600-ish Canadian, which is a real stab to the heart, just because it's going to literally nobody but money conversion. But that's the real cost. And I would say for the amount that we've gotten done together. And one of the other sort of major benefits that I've seen is the consistency in my work. I don't have days off really anymore in the same way. I'm not wow, I just worked for 7 days straight. And so now I'm not going to check into anything at all. I'm always saying hi. Hey, how's it going? Yeah. What are your tasks? What are you working on? You're always sort of in management mode.
Delegation
And that might sound bad, but it's actually not. It keeps you so invested in the business every single day. So even when you're having the slower seasons, it's not such a hard thing to get back into busy season if you've stayed consistently working and building.
It's the same reason we have this studio cleaned once a month. Yeah. We had the first clean that was really deep. costs the most amount for a cleaning we've had.
Yeah, like $600 or something.
And now it's just upkeep. And now it's just something that we have the cleaners come in. Shelby Shines, what's up? Different name now, obviously. I just love that name so much. They come in with their staff and they clean once a month, and they do just like dusting, basically. Dusting. I'm minimizing that, but they don't do like, they don't have to
Put
like
it on my
scrub
face
the
right
mud.
now. They do dusting. They do dusting. This girl cleans our toilets.
I'm just saying,
she wipes down every surface. She does our dishes.
What I'm saying is that she's not going so hard and deep to the point where it's like you have to start over.
It's not needed. You're right.
Exactly.
She's doing dusting. Jesus.
You know what I mean?
No, it's true. Once you have done that the onboarding is the biggest thing. So prepare yourself mentally for you to, if you want the best outcome, you have to put your own work in. Like you can't expect to hire somebody and be like, YOLO, see you later.
See you later, bitch. I'm going to the beach.
And like, oh, you don't communicate with them all the time.
Yeah.
The more that I am involved, the better the output is.
Yeah.
Obviously, because she needs input from me in order to
make it go.
Do this job. So, those are my general thoughts on best practices. And there's so much education out there in hiring VAs. Wedding Workflows has lots of good ones, obviously. This wasn't supposed to be a Wedding Workflows ad. It's just I've had such a good experience with them. And I think also because I have had anywhere ranging from medium to bad experiences in the past with my assistant hiring. And I've learned a lot too. It's not just them. I've learned how to be a better employer.
Teaches you a lot, I bet.
I've learned so much in how to be a better business owner and leader. For a long time, I was like, I don't like managing people. I am not good at it. Turns out that's not true. There are certain traits and behaviors that I have noticed that are absolute no's for me. And I would never hire those kinds of people again.
Yeah.
One of them being I don't want to hire someone that just wants my job again.
Yes. Yeah.
But there's certain traits that I have found that I'm like, that's not super helpful. But also things in myself I think I've gotten less quick to be frustrated at people. I've gotten a lot more patient, and I have gotten a lot more introspective of this didn't go well. What did I do to set you up for failure?
Yeah.
Why did that not go well? And if I didn't set you up for failure, why did I not lay an expectation that this was super important to me and that I really wanted it to go very well, So I've had some incredibly talented and very, very bright women that have worked for me. Honestly, my business at this point is only here because I had so many really talented people help me get here. Having learned those things, as you do, I have gotten better as an employer. I have been able to hire better and just more specifically for what I need. So hire a VA. It's kind of sick.
Kind of dope.
It's kind of dope. Oh, market research. Another one that I didn't even talk about.
What is that? What are you talking about?
I had Nika run market research for me because I also she's very, very proficient at using AI.
Okay.
Like, because she's younger than me, just smarter probably. I don't know. Or I don't know if Wedding Workflows teaches them this. I don't know why she's so good at it. She's just really good at it.
Okay.
But I am revamping and about to relaunch my commercial website.
Got it.
And with like a few really specific goals in mind.
Right.
Of the types of clients that I want and the image that I'm trying to put out there. And it just sat stagnant for a really long time.
Right.
And it was like the little brother that just kept getting like, sorry, buddy, we don't have time for you. That was that side of my business.
Right.
In putting it all together, I was like, I should just give this a little bit more thought. So I had her do a full market research analysis on commercial and branding photographers in our area.
Right.
In Toronto, basically from Toronto to Windsor.
Okay.
What are people doing? What are search terms that clients are looking for? What are people charging for headshots?
Right.
What's pricing looking like? What kind of pages do we recommend that I have on my website? What kind of pages do we need for like educating people, and what would be helpful for blog posts and those kinds of things that I can create?
Yeah.
But I need the market research to
know what direction
to give me some
point
direction.
Things in. Yeah. Wow.
So that's been a really big one. And then I had her do the same thing for my family's site, which is next on the target. So very cool. Very, very exciting. Some really interesting things there to consider.
Yeah, that's big.
I'm excited to see where you go. Don't you dare hire
I want
Nika.
my pen. I want my pen.
If you start clicking it,
I'm going to click it once so I can open it. Okay.
He's been over here clicking that thing. I'm sure you've all heard. If
you're
thinking your car's falling apart, it's not. It's just Tim, and he's unmedicated. I have had such a nice time working with Nika. It's been so much fun. Thank you guys for listening to me just yap and brag about my assistant. If
you have any questions, please leave them below in the description comment area of this YouTube video, or reach out to us on the Shoot Your Shot podcast on Instagram, and let us know your thoughts, feelings, your ideas around whether you think it's ready and right for you to hire a VA. And Lindsay will shoot you a promo code because it's nice to have things for less money, and that's what this does. You actually can get your
first week for free if you use it, so that's pretty sick. Check
out the description of this episode wherever you're enjoying.
To get onboarded and have the first week of a VA for free.
Sick.
Okay, cool. Thank you guys so much for being here. Happy Monday. I hope that your week is off to a phenomenal start.
Hell yeah.
We will see you next week.
Ciao, bubbies.